Imagine you're me. Okay, maybe not that much. Imagine it's 2021, about a year removed from COVID lockdowns. Things are still not quite the same. Sure, people are attending events, but it's still recommended to stay away from people and wear masks. Fine by you, because in April, a certain online game you've been keeping an eye on releases an update. Friday Night Funkin' Week 7. It added Tank Man, voice-acted cutscenes, improved the jank-ass engine, and songs that were fun as hell. It crashed the Newgrounds website for almost a whole day as people wanted to get a taste as to what the developers were cooking. But that wasn't all, because after beating the final song in week 7, the full-ass game Kickstarter. And it promised a lot. Loads of new levels, playable characters, brand new difficulties with new tracks. This campaign reached a fever of hype not often seen for what was essentially a Newgrounds flash game of Dance Dance Revolution. Now, I'd be lying if I said I was immune to such hype, because I, in college with almost no money to my name, pledged $30 to the Enamel Pins reward. Expecting more news for development, I waited and watched the money stack up. This game was funded so quickly and was promising to get even more big, so I waited and watched, waited, and eventually lost interest. Fast forward a couple years, graduate college, get a job, move to a new place, quit said job, get another one, nearly have an emotional shutdown due to said job, find a better one. Now it's November of 2025 and this arrives. Now I know what this is even without opening it, because there's very few places that would send me something that addressed me as Frogman, and I haven't opened it yet because I wanted to do this video to open it. You can tell how this landed on my list of priorities. But I wanted to ponder that with a game such as this, with its history of open modding support, long wait times, and rather simple gameplay, can this projected game even succeed? Friday Night Funkin' is a rhythm flash game that acts as a love letter to Newgrounds animation with its unique style and several cameos of notable animators and characters. It caught people's attention for being fun, pleasing to play, and despite a soundtrack where the voices are beeps and boops, it sounds way better than it has any right to be. But what made this game into an absolute phenomenon was the ability to mod the game and do whatever you want in this format. I remember a time where Versus Witty was the premier mod of the game, and people challenged streamers to beat its stupid as hell Ballistic song, where it was a solid 20 seconds of nonstop shit on the screen. But it didn't stop there. Jesus Christ, it didn't stop. Songs, new characters, old characters, art style changes, entire ass game experiences were all made with the framework that makes this funny blue-haired kid go beep boop. And the original engine certainly wasn't up to the task to support the growing interest. I remember a rather sore spot was the original couldn't do simultaneous notes at all, and it lacked the precision that most rhythm games needed to function. So of course new engines were even developed to accommodate the growing demands, and it's at this point where we have to ask, what can the original devs even do to stand out in their own community? What could they possibly do that hasn't been done very well by other dedicated fans? I mentioned entire ass game experiences because there are some projects that absolutely blow it out of the water. Example A, Friday Night Funkin' indie crossover. On the surface, a super well done and very stylized mod that pits you against the characters from iconic franchises such as Cuphead, Undertale, and Bendy and the Ink Machine. Digging into it, you find incredibly fun songs, lore-driven cutscenes, new gameplay elements, a different song depending on your actions, and bonus songs featuring nightmare versions of the 3 main characters, 2 of which slap really fucking hard. This is a complete package experience that was all done for the love of the original, and in my opinion, vastly overshadows it. And let's just be a little bit blunt. It's been roughly 5 years since the Kickstarter, and a large portion of the time, there's been nothing coming from the heads of development. No updates, no shipments of the pledge rewards people were putting their money towards, all while others are making mods and vastly dwarf the original for free. Hell, I was absolutely one of those people playing out popular mods, not because I was any good at it, but because I absolutely loved seeing what they did with the characters and how they would incorporate narratives or gameplay elements for them. To return to Indie Cross, I absolutely love the bonus song for the devil that plays like a soundtrack of trying to find parking in a metropolitan area. Plus, there's the Five Nights at Freddy's mod by Poria SFMs I absolutely adore for its songs and sick as hell finale. They made another one for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 that I think is kind of worse. And that right there is what I think the real problem is with this whole thing in general. There's been enough time for preferences to be made, stars within the community to rise and fall, the keys to the kingdom were given up, and the fans of the show have spent too long running the show. And I wouldn't be surprised if the game eventually does come out and nobody talks about it, but I think it will draw buzz because of the Weekend update. In April of 2024, Weekend 1 was released, showcasing a new level, completely revamped menus, and the playable character Pico, which changed the track to a new mix of that song made just for that character. And if this is the precedent they're setting, they've got their fucking work cut out for them, with multiple weeks demanding new mixes for each character, as well as every instance of an erect difficulty. And keep in mind, they plan to have at least 9 characters according to this screen. My god, that's a lot of content. But not only that, pledge promises were also being fulfilled. Sure, a lot in life can and did happen in the 5 years it took, but as long as you kept updating your stuff, here we are. Now let me be clear, if the Weekend didn't come out, I'd have a whole different tune to talk, but I think that moment proved that they have what it takes to get across the finish line. I don't think they'll top the mountain of content derived from mods. The internet will remain undefeated in that aspect, but I think it's too soon to give up on them. Yes, it is taking a while for them to make it, but with the Weekend update, a mobile version out, and the pins finally here, I am willing to believe that this team can make something great, and if time is what they need to make it, they deserve to take that time. But if it's not out in another 5 years, we'll have some shit to talk about.